This is the smallest and most portable smartphone gimbal that I have ever seen. It is well made, has a ton of features, and has an awesome app to go with it. Let's take a look at it. What's up everybody, and welcome to the Phase Reviews YouTube channel. My name is Jordan, and if you're new here, thank you for joining us, and if you're a subscriber, welcome back. Today we are looking at the Hohem, I believe that's how you say it, iSteady X. Like I said before, this is the smallest smartphone gimbal that I have ever gotten a chance to test. It has a ton of features, even more features than some more expensive gimbals I've used, and the app that goes along with it is really well made and integrates perfectly with the gimbal. On this channel, we do unboxing and overviews. I'm gonna show you everything that comes in the package with this. We're gonna talk about the build quality, and then I'm gonna give you a test and show you how the gimbal works so that you can see for yourself that it is an awesome product. And if you wanna buy one, we'll talk about picking one up later on. But let's not waste any more time. Let's dive into talking about this Hohem iSteady X. The first thing we always do on this channel is to talk about the packaging. I think it can say a lot about the company and about the product itself, and they really did a great job with this gimbal. It's one of the more popular options on Amazon, and it starts with the packaging. This looks really professional. It's got this kind of like glossy translucent slip cover right here. It's got the product name, some pictures of it, and then around the back you have a listing of all of the different features, all of the things that are included in the box, and then you also have some QR codes to take you to the website, the app, their social media channels. They pretty much covered all of their bases. They even have all of their certifications right here at the bottom, which makes me feel a little bit better that this product has been tested and, you know, approved for use here in the US, unlike some of the more sketchier things that I've taken a look at in the past. Now, you didn't come here for packaging, so we can slide the slip cover off, and you'll see everything that comes in the box is packaged really nicely inside this kind of like egg carton type foam. We'll talk about each of these things individually as I take them out. So first and foremost, we have the gimbal itself, and we can talk about how this folds up really nicely like that. There's a little notch there where it clamps onto your phone. To loosen, to open this up, you just loosen that knob right there, twist that up, and then tighten that back down, and just like that, your gimbal is ready to go. All of the individual axes lock down, all right? So when you close it, you can lock individual axes of rotation just by turning them until they click. Also in the box, you're gonna have this little tripod attachment. So this is a very small tripod so that you can set this gimbal on a table or other surface, and that just screws into the bottom like so. You have your standard USB-C charging lead, a nice quality cable right here, not too long, but it's just to keep the battery topped off on this. You have a lanyard right here that you can attach to the gimbal if you want to just hook it on to a pack or onto your pants or what have you. And then last but not least, you have a really nice velvety carrying bag right here. So this can be super compact. Just slip it into your purse or your backpack or whatever you're using to take to your filming location or on your adventures. You also have a manual. It's a very odd shaped, tiny little slim manual. It's got a ton of pages, although most of those are in other languages. This is kind of the quick start guide. The first page has a link to the app, and then it's got instructions for balancing the gimbal and other important functions of this product. Although most of the things are explained inside of the app, or if you've ever used a gimbal like this, it follows the same kind of procedures as any other smartphone gimbal. Build quality on this is really nice. It's got a matte finish. I chose the white version. I'm not a big fan of the branding on the tripod, although if you're holding that, no one's gonna see it, or if it's not attached, it's not that big of a deal. The only other branding on the gimbal itself is up on the arm right there, and then the name is printed on this faceplate right here, but that's not that big of a deal. It still looks very sleek and very professional. Now, if we take this off, like I said, this is super tiny. The stick, or the handle, I guess I should say, fits completely in my palm, which is nice. This is easy to take into like an amusement park, which is where I do a lot of filming at Disney World with my wife, and so I like that no one's gonna question, like, what is this big bulky equipment? Because it's very compact and small. I'm gonna open this back up, okay, and tighten that back down. And then you can take a look here on the front of the gimbal. You've got a little joystick right here. This will control the movement, the pan, the tilt, the side to side, stuff like that. On the side, you have this little slider here, and this can be set inside of the app to adjust the focus or the zoom, so whichever you prefer there. And then you have a couple buttons down here for power and mode, and depending on if you hold those or double click those, they have different functions. One thing that's lacking from this smartphone gimbal that my other gimbal, the Fayutech Vlog Pocket, I believe it's called, is a trigger on the front and that trigger would allow me to click and hold a position as I moved the gimbal. I liked that feature, but it's not a deal breaker that this doesn't have it. I liked it, but this has the joystick, which the other gimbal didn't have, so trade-offs, I guess. You have your USB charging port right there with a little light next to it. You also have a couple lights on the front of the gimbal above the joystick to tell you the current battery life. So when you're ready to use the gimbal, you unlock the axes by just turning counterclockwise so that they're all moving freely, and then you're just going to take your phone, and on the cradle for the phone, there is some Hohem branding right there. So you just want to make sure that that's facing upright. You'll grab your phone. Let me see if I can twist this the correct way. Make sure your camera is facing out like so. Position your phone directly in the center so that it is relatively balanced before you even turn the gimbal on. You can see that mine's tilting to the side like that. Okay, so you just want to get that back and forth until you've got it moderately balanced. Obviously the gimbal is going to correct for the rest, but right there, that's pretty good. Once you've got it balanced and the gimbal is unlocked, all you have to do is hold the power button for a couple of seconds. It will turn on, and then it will orient itself to the right direction, and just like that, the phone is ready to go. Now you do need to calibrate the gimbal to your individual phone, and you do that through the app. So you have to make sure you have the app downloaded. There's an option for calibration. You just click that button, calibration in the app, make sure your phone is in the cradle, and it will adjust its motors to the weight and the size of your individual phone. So now that it's on, you can see it will follow my hand, so it's in like a pan mode right now. I can also use the little joystick to turn it like that. You can see up or down and side to side. So that's super handy. You also have a button to start your recording or to take a picture on the gimbal itself, and then you have that slider on the side to adjust your zoom and your focus. So let's take a look at the app and I can show you how the app works. All right, so the app for this gimbal is called Hohem Pro, and this is the recording section of the app. If you click the home button, it will take you out to the main menu of the app, but there's not much there. This is going to be the screen that you're using the most, and you can access this by turning your gimbal on, making sure your Bluetooth on your phone is connected, and then the app will find the gimbal and connect to it. So running through the features real quick, on the left side you have the button to take you to the home screen, the button to turn the flash on or off, the button to switch the camera forward or rear facing, a focus button or a face tracking button, and then you have a settings button right here to adjust various settings like what video resolution you're shooting in. I'm at 1080 60 frames per second, the ISO, the shutter, and then whether you have your grid on or off to frame your shot. On the right you have a record button, which there's also a dedicated hardware button on the gimbal itself to start the recording. And then down here you have your zoom and focus. So the left T to W, I think telescopic to wide angle is your zoom, and then this one on the right side with the mountain and the flower, that would be like macro to landscape, that would be your focus. So you can use the slider on the side of the gimbal to zoom in or out, like so, and then you can use your finger to adjust the focus right there. You could access your media right there. There's the record button. And then this little button up here is different filters that you can use to alter the colors of your shot, which I'm not going to do right now. And that's the app. It's very simple, but it's full featured. It's everything you would need for a gimbal like this. You can have a lot of control over different settings, and it responds really quickly to the gimbal. So this is me using the joystick to move it up and down, and you can see it responds very quickly. So now I'm gonna overlay some footage of the gimbal in action. You can see that the footage is smooth, and the gimbal really gives you a cinematic feel to your videos. Now, this is right in line with other gimbals that I've used in this price range, like the Feiyutech Vlog Pocket. The video is not 100% perfect. You're gonna have to still try and have a steady hand yourself, but this eliminates a lot of the big bumps, especially from things like walking or running or cycling or what have you, being on a roller coaster, stuff like that. It's gonna smooth out all of those bumps, and you can get really cool sweeping shots with this gimbal. That's what this is perfect for. Like I said, I take this to theme parks to take videos inside of there, to make home movies, to make vlogs of our adventures and the things me and my wife do. It's perfect for stuff like that. And at the price, you really can't beat it. The fact that you've got a travel case, the charging cable, the tripod accessory, really everything you need to get started with really cool cinematic video making. So that's a look at the Hohem iSteady X. I think this is a great smartphone gimbal. It comes in cheaper than other gimbals that I've reviewed on this channel, and it's just as full featured. I've had no issues getting it set up. The battery life life is just as stated, and it looks good and it functions really well. So if you want to grab one of these, there's going to be a link down in the description. You can buy through there and support the channel. I would love you for it. Hopefully that gives you a up close look at this gimbal and you can decide whether or not you want one for yourself. Thank you so much for watching. If you're not a subscriber, consider becoming one so you can see all the other awesome tech reviews that happen on this channel, and I will see you next time.